Can a pellet gun kill a hog? Let's find out. What's up guys, it's Heiko with the South Florida Fishing Channel, and next week I have a hog hunt planned, and I got myself an air rifle, pellet gun, an air gun, whatever you want to call it, shooting little lead pellets using only air. Can that kill a hog? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Now inside I have a setup, 2 1/4-inch thick pieces of birch wood and some ballistic gel, and that is going to simulate a wild hog getting shot. Now there's a lot of things to take into consideration here. The first thing is the kind of air gun you have. Now there's some air guns out there that are obviously good enough to kill a hog. These are your big bore air guns. And these things are anywhere from $700 and up into thousands of dollars. But man, these things can take deer
with an air gun, baby.
Hogs.
This is a 22 caliber air rifle.
Buffalo.
Shot!
Big game animals. That's what they're made for. But what about us folks that go to Walmart and buy ourselves a pellet gun? Can those kill a hog? Because I mean, I don't got $1,000 to throw down on a big bore gun. So in this video, we're gonna look at 2 types of pellet guns. One is a .177 caliber that I picked up at Walmart for, I think it was $80 or $90. And this is a spring-loaded gun, shown here with the wood stock. And above that, I have the Umarex Gauntlet, which is a .25 caliber PCP air gun. That gun is only $300. I'll link both of the guns in the video description below if you want to get yourself one, but these are 2 fairly cheap air rifles. $300 for a PCP air rifle is extremely cheap. We're going to test different pellets. We're going to test the accuracy, the FPE, which is foot-pounds of energy being delivered to the target, and the penetration of the round. Before we look at the Gauntlet and start shooting things, I just want to get the .177 caliber out of the way. The cheap spring-loaded air gun. For this gun, I shot the pointed lead pellets from Crossman. These pellets only weigh 7.4 grains. When shooting it out of that air gun, I measured it going 1,100 feet per second, and that's barely over 20 FPE, foot-pounds of energy, but being delivered to the target. After doing a lot of research online, it seems that people have come to the conclusion that you need at least 30 FPE to kill a hog with a headshot. Some people might argue it's a little less, 25 could put down a hog, but to be safe, let's just say 30 FPE is slightly more humane of taking down a hog. Even if I shot that pellet at 1,200 feet per second, which that gun cannot do, it would still only be 23.7 FPE. I went online and found some other pellets, the exact Beast Diabolo rounds, which weigh 16.2 grains. And that pellet rifle can only shoot around that heavy at about 900 feet per second. And even then, you're only getting about 29.1 FPE. That could maybe kill a hog. It seems like there's a lot of wiggle room. So I'm just gonna rule out the .177 pellet gun as not a humane way of killing a hog. I wouldn't try it. If you want to kill a hog with an air gun, you got to use a higher caliber. The .22s start to seem like a good idea. Now the Gauntlet that I have comes in 25 and 22 caliber. I got myself the 25 caliber. I tested out 4 different pellets. The exact King Heavy Diabolo MKIIs, which weigh 33.95 grains. The Benjamin Dome pellets, which weigh 27.9 grains. The Predator Polymag, which weigh 26 grains. And the Grizzly Slug hollow point, which weighs 31 grains. I tested all of these pellets, and the FPE on all of them is over 40. So I know that these bad boys do some damage on impact. But I want to be sure that this round is going to put the hog down. So what we're going to do now is test the penetration of these rounds. Then we're going to go to the range and we're going to test the FPE of the rounds being delivered at a 25-yard shot and the accuracy of every round. Because in order to comfortably kill a hog, their brain is about 4 inches by 2.3 inches. Almost about the size of your fist. So in order to hit the perfect spot on a hog, you should, I would say, be accurate to a 1 inch. That means if I put a quarter on my target, I should be able to hit a quarter. And then I can comfortably say I'm accurate enough to shoot a hog in the brain. Let's test penetration. Now I spent some time doing some research to find out how thick is a hog's skull. We gotta penetrate a hog's skull and then get into the brain to put that hog down. And a lot of people have concluded that a 1/4 inch of pine wood has the same strength as a hog's skull. But I couldn't find any pine wood. I got myself some birch wood, which is a little stronger than pine wood. And instead of using 1/4 inch thick piece of wood, I'm going to use 2 pieces of wood. So that comes out to a 1/2 inch of birch wood. Now, why am I using a 1/2 inch of birch wood? That seems overkill. Well, you gotta remember that hogs have some fur, they have skin, they have a little bit of fat and a little bit of muscle between the outside and the skull. So I just kind of am assuming that if I use a 1/2 inch of birch wood, that should be more than enough to simulate the skull and anything that might be outside of the skull. If we can get at least 2 inches of penetration after the pellet goes through that wood, then I know for a fact my pellet can enter that hog's brain and do some serious damage. So let's go find out. First round test is the exact King Heavy Diabolo MKII 33.95 grain JSB pellet. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1. Wow! Full penetration. 1. Holy smokes, guys. I did not think this was gonna happen. It penetrated. Hold on, take a look at this. Entrance hole. 1/2 inch of birch wood. Look at that cavity. Bam! You can kind of see a spiral effect too. Holy crap, that is awesome. All the way through here, and the it didn't exit. It actually, I don't know if you can see. The round is in there. The back of this gel is a little frozen. I accidentally left it on the top of my fridge, so the back is frozen, and that's why I think it got to that frozen hard part, so it wasn't able to completely exit. I think it would have penetrated maybe another centimeter or 2 had it not been frozen. But I mean, the results here are obvious. That's a dead hog. 1/2 inch of birch wood, and it's still penetrated. Let's get a ruler. Almost 9 inches if you take, if you count that missing front part, it's 9 inches of penetration through this gel. I think a pig's brain is even softer than this, so I mean, look at the expansion in there. Boom! Let's shoot some more rounds, boys. And not only am I gonna shoot the other 3 rounds, but I'll shoot a 177 through here and see what kind of penetration we get on the $90 Walmart spring loader gun. Woo! Test number 2. This is gonna be with the Benjamin domed pellets. 1. So the Benjamin pellet weighs less than the King Heavy pellet, which means its FPE is a lot lower. Even though it's traveling at a faster speed because it's a little more lightweight, it still does not have that oomph on impact. And that's why I recommend using a higher caliber air gun for hunting. So .22, .25. That's why I think the 177 just is not going to cut it for killing a hog, but we'll still test it. But check this out. You can see the pellet in there. Look at that cavity though, beautiful cavity. And there it is. So it had about another inch. So we had about 7.5 inches of penetration. Now we're gonna test the Predator Polymag. This round is supposed to be, they claim, proven the best hunting pellet made. It's supposed to have extreme accuracy, extreme takedown punch, and extreme penetration. So let's try it out. Very interesting. Holy smokes, guys, look at it. The round completely flattened out. You can see the Benjamin Dome pellet almost still has its original shape, but this one is just flat. It's completely expanded. You can see the red polymer plastic tip right down there. Beautiful looking cavity. Did not penetrate as far as the other rounds. About 4.5 inches, but interesting. I'm gonna have a hard time picking which round to use. Look at that cavity though. There we go, 3 cavities so far. You know what, that round looks like it would destroy a hog's brain. I mean, that lead pellet completely flattened out. I think it delivers a lot of force. Doesn't penetrate as far though. Ooh, this is gonna be hard picking what round I use for these hogs. But we got one more to test, and that's the slug. The hollow point slug. Let's go and freaking shoot this thing. Last but not least, we're gonna shoot the Grizzly H&N Sport hollow point slug. 1. Holy smokes, that slug had quite the freaking impact. Oh my god. This is freaking crazy. That slug penetrated just as far as the exact match, the first slug I shot, or the first pellet I shot. Even though the slug weighs a lot less. You can see the slug entered here and went all the way to the back, but you can see the slug in there. It made it. The slug sitting in there. Both of those cavities look amazing. Exact match pellet, the one on the bottom, seems to be a little bit thicker. Now in a moment, we're gonna cut open this ballistics gel and see how the pellets look. But first, let's shoot that 177. I wonder if it's even gonna penetrate the wood, to be honest. Now we're gonna shoot the $90 Crossman. The way you load this, it's a break barrel. So break the barrel down, it's spring loaded. Insert your pellet. In this case, we're using the pointed Crossman pellet, which only weighs 7.6 grains. Load it up and let's do this. 1. All right, interesting. 1. 1. The 177 pellet penetrated. Actually did better than I thought it was gonna do. 3 inches of penetration. Had this have been a pig's head, it would have gone completely through the brain. Okay, well, some things to take into consideration. When you're shooting a hog, you're probably gonna be about 25 yards away and not point blank like I am right now. So the 177 round at 25 yards probably would have only penetrated maybe an inch. The other pellets will still completely go through the entire brain, even at 25 yards. Probably even at 50 yards. But you know what? That's something we can test in another video. If you guys like this video so far and you want to see more stuff like this, push that thumbs button and leave a comment. We want more. But when you look at it, you can probably kill a hog with a 177 at point blank range. I wouldn't recommend it. You might drop one and get very lucky, but that just don't seem right. Use the why not use the 25? It's only $300 and it seems to do one heck of a job. Some of you probably also are wondering, why use an air gun? Why not just use a regular gun to kill a hog? Down here in the South, hogs are vermins and we're trying to get rid of them. And the thing with a gun is, if you shoot one, all the rest run away. But With an air gun, they're much quieter, and you can shoot one hog without scaring the rest away, and then you can shoot another hog and another hog. Or if you just don't want to make a lot of noise, I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why you might shoot an air gun over a gunpowder gun. But we're not here to discuss the A's and B's and C's and D's of why or why not you should use an air gun. We're here to just find out, can it kill a hog? So far it seems like heck yes it can kill a hog. Look at these cavities. So crazy. I just got back in from outside and it got dark. So the only thing I wasn't able to test is accuracy, but I did shoot a bunch of rounds and with each pellet. And at 25 yards, they all shot the same groups. They're all extremely accurate. I think only at far distance, like if you're shooting 100 plus yards, I heard the slugs are more accurate. In terms of accuracy, I'm not going to shoot a hog at over 50 yards anyway, so I'm going to say they're all accurate. Let's find out which one did the most damage and which one we're going to use to hunt with. But I would like to say a pellet gun can kill a hog, just from what I see here. Let's cut this freaking ballistics gel open. Look at these bad boys. All right, I'm just going to perfectly cut it like this. Wow. Okay, the top one is the slug, and this bottom, 0.9 inches of expansion. Holy smokes. That is the exact King Heavy Diabolo, which, by the way, is an extremely accurate round. But I'm going to cut this in half so we can actually see it. There it is. Look at all the wood in there. You see all that wood? It's a solid freaking impact. Okay, here's the pellet. There's a little bit of expansion on there. Alright, so that is the King Heavy Diabolo. I'm going to take a picture of that and try to get a zoomed in shot. The next one we're going to look at, this is the Grizzly Slug. That also had a really nice expansion. Devastating. You know, it didn't expand as much as I thought it would for being a hollow point. But, okay. That is the Grizzly Slug. This guy. Right here. Grizzly Slug. Two more. Actually, three more. Benjamin Dome Pellet, which almost looks exactly like the King Heavy Diabolo JSB pellet. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty sweet. That line right there. I'm gonna take a picture of that. Wow. Let's take a look at the pellet. Not much expansion on the pellet. Not as much as the King Heavy Diabolo. It also didn't go as far as the King Heavy. Now, for the most exciting one, the Polymag, the Predator. This bad boy right here really hypes itself up as a hunting round. Okay, here we go. So you can see the polymer tip kind of veered off on the side there. We're left. Holy smokes, look at the expansion on that round. Flat. That delivers a fat punch to your target. And then here's the tip. So this is what they look like before and after. But the penetration isn't that much. I think because it dumps its load very quick. Not least, our really cute little 117 round that penetrated 3 inches. Better than I thought after going through a half an inch of birch wood. There it is. Has a tiny little cavity. And it did flatten out pretty nicely. Let me get... There's the before. That's what it's supposed to look like. So it definitely kind of flattened. Definitely would not try to hunt a hog with this though. It's very, very small, not much penetration. Okay, so we've concluded this would be lethal if you shot a hog within 25 yards in the head. Probably even up to 50 yards, but that might be an experiment for a next video. I won't take a shot over 25 yards video. But which of these pellets would I use to go hog hunting? Well, the King Heavy and the Benjamin are very identical looking rounds, except this one penetrated further and it seemed to, the pellets seemed to expand a little bit more. So far this is the winner. Then we have the Predator Polymag, which really dumped a lot of energy and it didn't penetrate that deep, but man, that pellet just got flattened out. I think this thing, if I was hunting like squirrels, rabbits, birds, this would be my round of choice all day long. This thing just has such a crazy impact that I think it would knock anything down. But with a hog, I kind of want some penetration. So this is still the winning round. The Grizzly Slug, this penetrated just as far as this one did. But I don't know. The pellet didn't really... Honestly, I think that both these rounds would be perfect for a hog. This one may be better around at far range. But I'm going to go with this round. The exact King Heavy Diabolo MKII is the winner, and we're going to take down a hog with this round. Yeehaw!